Hello everyone and welcome to another art lesson with me, Mr. Richardson. This activity is for my grade prep students. Now, I hope that you have all had a look at the story of BigFoot Cinderrrrella on YouTube. I'll post the link below just in case you haven't had a look at it yet. But this is your second activity based around the story of BigFoot Cinderrrella. It's very similar to the normal story of Cinderella, only this time it is with Bigfoot monsters. So you are going to have to create a wig or some sort of hair based on the story of the monsters in BigFoot Cinderrrella. So the equipment that you'll need in this activity is you'll need some paper strips. Now if you've got coloured paper, you can use coloured paper and cut them into long strips. If you don't have coloured paper, then normal plain white printer paper is fine. Or you can get creative with any other type of paper. You can use cut up magazine pages, junk mail, newspaper, so any paper is good for this activity as long as you cut it up into strips. You will need a pair of scissors and you can either use some sticky tape or a glue stick. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first step that you'll need to do is you'll need to get 2 strips of paper and either glue stick or tape them to join 2 edges together, and that's going to make one long strip. So make sure you press that if you're using glue stick, and you've got one long strip. Now depending on the size of your head, 2 strips should be fine. You may need a little bit more just to be safe, but the next step is you'll measure to see if that is going to be long enough. So after you've joined your 2 strips together, you might need someone to help you with this if it's a little bit tricky. You're going to measure it around your head. Now, because I have got a bigger head than what you probably would have, I will need an extra piece of paper just to make it a little bit longer. So 2 bits is not enough for me. It will probably be enough for you. So I've put a 3rd one around. You need it to be long enough that it is going to, the 2 ends will meet and you've got a little bit overlapping. So overlapping is when something is covering another surface like this. So this is where a helper is going to come in handy to help measure. And I can see about here is enough. So where my thumb is, I'm going to bend it and cut it like this. And then I'm going to turn it into a big circle. So again, another bit of sticky tape or glue stick, and I've overlapped it just a little bit at the ends to join them together, and I've made a circle, and that should fit over your head. And if it's a little bit loose, just wiggle it, slide it a little bit further, and make it smaller. So it should fit pretty snugly on your head. I'm going to keep adjusting mine until it will fit and it won't fall off. Perfect. All right. The next step is you're going to get another strip and I'm going to tape it this time. Doesn't really matter, you can still tape or glue. So I'm going to tape it. And again, you may need one, you may need a little bit more. I'm just going to use one. One should be plenty. And going to tape the other side directly opposite. So that's how it looks like. It's kind of like a hill on top. So if I put it on my head, it's starting to look a bit like a helmet. You see where I'm going with this one? And then I'm going to get another piece and again, tape or glue. So half on, half off. This time, the hill is going to go the opposite side. So then it crosses over the top. So see, it crosses like that. And tape it. So then if I put it on, I've got a helmet with a bit that goes over the top and a bit that goes over the top that way. And that is your base to then start sticking your hair on top. Okay, so after you have made the base of your BigFoot Cinderrella wig, you're going to choose what colour hair you're going to stick on top. Now you have to think about what character you're going to make. Are you going to do the stepmother or one of the annoying, ugly stepsisters, or are you going to do BigFoot Cinderrella herself? So, I am going to do one of the ugly stepsisters, because one of them has got really cool curly hair. The other one's kind of got flat hair that sort of floofs out the side. So I'm going to choose my brown paper that I've already cut up into strips. So that might take you a little while to do. Now, depending on which character you're doing, you can make the paper really interesting. So the stepsister has curly hair. So I'm going to get my pencil and I'm going to roll it like this around the pencil until I get to the other side. And then take the pencil out and look at that. I've made curly hair in a spiral shape. So if I do a whole bunch of those, then I can stick them onto my headpiece base that I've already made. So I'm going to keep rolling a whole bunch of these up, and I'll see you in a moment. Alrighty, so I have curled a whole heap of paper strips around my pencil. Now, if you don't want to do curly hair, that's fine. You can do any of the other characters in the book. You might want to do straight hair. I just gave it a little bit of a twist at the bottom. Or you could cut little pointy, spiky bits there, and I've just stuck the 3 bits on the back to create a group. And you can just stick them on like that. Or you can zigzag. So it's like one big long W shape. And all you have to do with that is with your straight piece of paper, fold it over and under and 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 over until you have got to the end and it is like a spring. And you can do a whole bunch of those. If you want to do hair like BigFoot Cinderrella, you can do something like that. So after you have made all of the bits of hair that you want to attach to the base that you have made, all you have to do now is just glue or sticky tape them onto the base and fill it all up as much as you want to. So again, I'll see you in a moment and I'll show you what it looks like when I've stuck them all on top. Right, so I have stuck all of my curled paper strips onto the pink base that I have made all around. It will take you a little while to stick them all on. If you want to save yourself a little bit of time, you can cut bigger parts from a piece of paper. So I cut a sheet of paper into 4. And you could do something else like fringing. So cut almost to the other side, but stop just a little gap away from the edge. And that way, it kind of looks a bit like long grass. And finish cutting that last one. You've got a bigger section of hair. So that might take you a little bit less time than the curling one with the strips. I used about 5 or 6 sheets of paper cut into strips. You may want to use less, you might want to do some more, but remember this is a 2-week activity, so you just make the base and cut all of your paper up in the first week, and then the second week you are going to be putting it all together. Now, of course, the last thing that you'll need to do is BigFoot Cinderrella and the stepsisters and the stepmother. They all had to wear flowers in their hair, even though the Bigfoot prince didn't like it. It's like, no pink flowers! So, because they had flowers anyway, I'm going to draw a flower and stick it onto the center of the hair there. So, there you have it, folks. Here is my nasty stepsister wig with the lovely curls and the red flower on it. Very different having long hair like this. Like in the story, ha ha, you stay home, catch plenty fish, ha ha. A big shout out to Kid Time Storytime. I love her storytelling voices and how they're all different for every character. I just could watch this story over and over again. Now, an easier version of this, if you want to have a go at it, if that one seems a little bit tricky, you can just get a paper plate and your paper strips and just stick them on around the outside and the front. Can you recognise this one? Little bit of elastic or string underneath, and suddenly I've turned into BigFoot Cinderrella with my lovely yellow hair. So give it either option a go. You could do it with a paper plate, you could do it with the paper strips. Get some help from your mum or your dad or brother or sister, someone that can give you a hand with cutting or sticking them all on. And I'd love to see all of your fantastic BigFoot Cinderrella creations. All right, have fun with that, and I'll see you next time.